Hi, I'm Tim and you're watching the second part of our Alta Labs video series. In the first video series, what we did was we did an unboxing, a review and have a look and go through the specs. So here we are in the second part of the series. Now on the screen at the moment, we're going to be setting up the Alta Labs controller for the first time. So if I'm a little bit slow doing things, then please bear with me because it's the first time that I've set it up. However, I know from seeing other videos and information about the cloud-based controller that it's very easy to manage and navigate. So what we first did was went to manage.alta.inc. So that's the website, manage.alta.inc, which is the cloud-based controller. And what I've done is from the login screen that you will be presented with here, what I did was click sign up because I didn't have an account. So I clicked on sign up and then I was presented with the following screen where it says create an account. So you'd enter your name, email and create your own password. Then once you've clicked get started, you will be sent an email to verify your email address, and all you do is click the link in there and very instantly it will say that your account, or it should say that your account has been verified. Then once you've done that, you can then go ahead and log in to manage.alta.inc. So I'll just close these windows, and once you've logged in, you'll be presented with the dashboard like you can see on screen at the moment. Now here we have the dashboard, and at the top then we have network, and you will see that there's a number 2, meaning that we have 2 devices in the network. And under devices we have 0, and then we have settings. Now underneath this we have dashboard, and it's saying 2 network devices, however it's showing 0 devices. So what we'll do is go ahead, and it's saying note 1 or more devices is out of date. Please go to the network tab and click the up arrow icon with the red dot next to each device to update them. So what we'll do is click on network at the top. Then you will see it's also saying again 1 or more devices is out of date, and here we have the new access point and the new switch, and it's showing the MAC addresses and the version of the firmware that they're on here. So the access point is version 1 and the switch is version 1.2c. So what we need to do is first adopt these devices. So what we'll do is go ahead and do the switch first, and then we'll do the access point. So we'll click setup next to the switch, and it's saying it's connected. So that's how easy it is to adopt a device. So it happened really quickly, and as you can see we've now got an IP address for that switch. And under load it's showing, if you hover over it, so it's showing load and memory used and uptime, and it's also showing the MAC address again, the version, and as you'll see there's a little arrow next to it, so that means it's ready to be updated. And then for colors we have nothing in there. Status 0 bytes per second. However, there's a graph here which is a live graph showing how many kilobytes, actually kilobits per second I believe, is being transmitted up and down, and it's also showing the system load as well and the memory. So what we'll do is click on the arrow to update this first, and it's showing now update device. When do you want to update? BCB, which is the MAC address number I presume, and we'll click right now. So you can either do it right now or schedule it for a later time tonight, when obviously probably it's not being used, so you can schedule it. But as this is brand new and nobody's using it yet, we'll click right now. Now you'll see the version has a green circle against it, and it's saying update 100% complete. That took just a few seconds, and we're now on version 1.2c. So what we'll do is click setup for the access point now, and it's showing a status of disconnected, but we'll just wait for this to, yep, and it's now saying connected. And as you can see, we have a little arrow against the access point, so we'll click that to update it, and again we'll update it right now. And that took just a few minutes, and now it's saying we're on version 2.0x for the access point, and for the switch 2.1i. So it's done more than one update on the switch, and they're both showing as connected. Just wait a few more seconds, and as you can see, we've now got IP addresses for the devices, so it appears they're now connected to the network controller here, and they both have statuses with traffic against them, and also both of them have a black color dot against them. So what we'll do is give our devices a name. So under the name, we'll click on this and we'll call it AP1, and then for the switch we'll call it SW1, and both of those devices have now been renamed. So as you'll see at the top, we now have the dashboard, network which is showing 2, and also devices which is showing 2. So if you hover over the little icon, so the picture next to the device, it will show you what type of device it is, and in this case it's S8 PoE, which is our switch 8 PoE. So if we click on this little picture symbol, you will see that it brings up a window with our SW1 ports, settings, and also a list of the ports. So it's showing the icons and it's showing what's connected to which port. So as you'll see, we've got port 1, which is connected to our access point, and here it shows you the PoE voltage consumption, and we can also power cycle the device. So you'll see we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, which are empty, so they're grayed out, and then we've got port 8, which is the uplink port to my other switch. So we'll click on that, and as you can see, we can give it a name. We can select the mode for it, standard 8021X, and we can also do port mirroring, combine the ports, so that's port aggregation, and we can also allocate it a VLAN, and it's also showing the temperature. And what we can do is click on settings, and this gives you the settings for the switch itself. So for example, you can have it have a static IP or DHCP. It's currently set as DHCP by default, and then the management VLAN number 1, and the LED, we can have that white, red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise or blue or purple. So we can actually change the color of the LED. So what we'll do is go with turquoise, and for the link lights, we can have those as enabled or disabled. So these are the lights next to each port, so you can actually turn those off if you want. So we'll leave it as default. We can also set up radius, and it's showing that there's a PoE update available. So we'll click update. Are you sure you want to update the PoE firmware on switch 1? This will temporarily disable power to all PoE devices connected to the switch until the update is completed. It might take between 4 and 20 minutes. After the update, compatibility with PoE devices will be improved. So I think we'll just click yes and go ahead and see how long it takes. So here we are back at the network screen, and we've just done the PoE update, and it did actually take about 20 minutes. I just left it running on its own, and when it had finished, the lights on the switch came back on, and also the access point powered itself back on with the PoE connection. So now that we're back at the network dashboard, you'll see that we have 2 network devices there, which are the Alta Labs devices. And then what we do, if we click on devices, that shows that we have 2 more devices which are Ubiquiti devices. Now what this is saying that it's connected to port number 8. Now this is the uplink port, so it's connected at 1000 megabits per second, or alternatively gigabit. So it's 1 gigabit port, and that's the uplink port to the Ubiquiti network devices. So let's just go back to click on network at the top. So what we'll do is click on the little picture of the access point, the AP6 Pro, and then what we'll do is for Wi-Fi we'll select channel. So we'll go with set channel. Let's try channel 8 with a bandwidth of 20 megahertz, and then for the 5 gigahertz we'll go with a bandwidth of 160 megahertz, and we'll select a DFS channel. So let's go with 120, and then click on advanced, and we'll leave the power as auto. Actually, we'll change this to high for both of the 5 gigahertz and 2 gigahertz, so 2.4 actually, and click high on both of those. And then what we'll do is click save, and as you can see the save is now grayed out, so I presume it's actually setting up. If we look at the load icon, you'll see that it was blinking and we've got the channel numbers there, so that should actually change in a moment. So what we'll do is go to settings, and for the LED we can either have that as blue or white, so we'll leave that as default. Click save and then close that pop-up window. So as you can see, for some reason we've still got channel 36 showing there, so I presume it's actually just probably setting up the channels with the DFS channels. It obviously needs to scan them. So what we'll do while we're scanning the channels, what we'll do is click on settings at the top here, and here we've got Wi-Fi. So what we can do is add a new Wi-Fi, and this is to add the SSIDs. So what we'll do is call this MTT Lab, and then for the Wi-Fi security we'll have a password. And for the password you could use different passwords to automatically separate different types of, so we can have standard, which is a typical network with fewer than 100 Wi-Fi devices, large, which is optimized for hundreds to thousands of Wi-Fi devices, IoT, so it can be restricted to internet and local incoming connections only, and we can have internet, so restricted to internet only, and for guests. So what we'll do is just leave that as standard. We'll put in a password, so we'll have a super secure password, as this is only for lab purposes for testing, but make sure you have a secure password in there. So for then we'll scroll down to sites, and for sites we have home base. So this is our site at the top right corner here. So as we only have one site created, this access point and password and also this SSID we're creating will just apply to our home base site. Then what we can do is click advanced settings. So we just have a quick look. Default network, so that's the VLAN. We can put notes in there, general notes, and for the bands we can have both 2 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz, so we can have the SSID created in whichever one we want, or both. So we'll leave it as both, which is default. We'll leave all those settings actually as default, so we'll just collapse the advanced settings, and then what we'll do is click save, and then we should have an SSID created. So what we'll do is click back at the top here, and as you can see we've got MTT Lab, and that's the SSID, and if we click the little network icon, that takes us into the Wi-Fi SSID settings that we can change if we want to. So what we'll do is click back, and then for the settings we can click system, and we can change the access point color to either white, blue, or turn it off. The switch color LED, we can have that as white, red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, blue, purple, or we can turn that off. Automatic device updates is enabled, so this settings sit here at the top. So settings at the top, when you select it you get sub menus. So we've got the Wi-Fi where we're creating the SSIDs, the system where this applies to the whole system, and then we've got users, so we can create more than one user if we want. We've just got one user, which is myself in there, So you could actually invite a user or just create a user. So then we've got also the filter option here. What will that do is block applications. For example, under block applications, you'll see we've got applications in the bar. What we can do is select the applications we want to block, so that if anyone tries to access it on our wireless network, it will block those applications. However, we don't want any blocking for testing purposes. But further down, I can see that we have blocked domains. So what you can also do is type in, for example, domain name, say like so, and what that will do is prevent anyone from accessing that website through our wireless network. So pretty useful. So you can lock the network down if you so wish. So what we'll do is click back onto devices now, and go back to the devices is actually showing the uplink devices. So it's showing here switch port 8, which is the uplink port into my Ubiquiti devices. Hence the switch is connected to port 8 and into a port on my Ubiquiti devices. So that's why it's showing there. So what we'll do is click back to network, and as you can see, we've now got the access point and it's changed the channels here. So under load, next to that, you will see we've got channel 120 for the 5 gigahertz band, and then we've got channel 8 for the 2.4 gigahertz band, or as it's shown in here, they refer to it as 2 gigahertz. So it's actually, now it's changed those channels, we should actually be able to connect to the access point. So we'll just do that now. So I'll just get the network changed over and we'll do a quick speed test. So as you can see, we're getting 1.2 gigabits per second download, which is up to the maximum of what my internet service provider quotes me at. And for the upload speed, we should be getting up to 980 megabits per second. For upload, we're only getting 410 using fast.com, but probably it would be different with other providers. So I'm happy with that, connected to the wireless access point, the Alta Labs wireless access point to be specific. So that's a good connection speed. So now we've done that, we'll just go back to the top, and I'll just take you around the home base section here at the top right corner. And this is home base, meaning first network. So it's the first network site we've created, and that was created by default when I first logged in to the system, to the Alta Labs cloud controller. So what we can do is from the menu option, we can click Site Manager. So what we can do is add more sites if we so wish. So you can manage different sites and have multiple sites. For example, if you have certain branches or you've got a second home somewhere and you want to manage that, which you could do in this site manager as well. So you could have your second home listed in here and the Alta Labs network. So you can manage both your home network and your remote property as well in there. So that's a quick tour of the Alta Labs cloud-based controller. So what we'll do is go back to the top left here and click dashboard, and here there's an overview of your network activity at the moment. So you can click on this graph and it provides this pop-up box there with the time and the traffic. You can go back in history, so you could go 1 hour, 2 days, 2 months, whichever, or you can click options and select whether you want to show wireless and wired networks. You can also select network activity or devices. So here we've got 3 devices connected, WRR01, which is the PC I'm on at the moment, and then we have the 2 with no name, which are the uplinks to my other network devices from the Alta Labs switch. So we click back to network activity, and then we've got top active devices. So we've got the PC and then the 2 uplink devices there. Then we've got top applications as well. So we've got DNS. It tells you if you hover over CyberSec DNS, DHCP, DHCP v6 and Google DNS. And then we've got the top active network devices, which is SW01, which is Alta Labs switch, and then we've got AP01, which is the Alta Labs AP6 Pro wireless access point. So what we can do is click on the little arrows next to those devices, and it will give you a bigger overview graph of the data. So it's live data going through the switch at the moment. I can do the same for the access point, however there's nothing connected to it at the moment. So that's basically the cloud controller for Alta Labs. Now my thoughts, it's very clean dashboard. I think over time they will be adding more things to it, so there's plenty of room to expand it more with a lot more options and facilities, and for example more devices as well. Whether they decide to launch their own router as well, or router if you call it in the US, so whether they decide to launch their own, that might be a bonus device to have in the Alta Labs ecosystem. So a router would, I think, go a long way to get people over to Alta Labs with their switches and access points. So a router would just finish the ecosystem off. So whether they decide to do that in the future, I don't know. And just to confirm, I do not know anything about Alta Labs thinking about or in the pipeline of launching a router at all. Nothing's been said at all. So this is just my personal opinion that they could probably launch a router to get people into their ecosystem, as it were. I also like the layout of the cloud controller. It's very clean, easy to navigate, designed well, text is clear, every section is clear in there, for example, easy to follow, easy to navigate. I like it. Yeah, and I like the Alta Labs devices as well. They're very well built, fairly quick to start up, shut down, for example. What we'll do is we'll leave it there for now and keep an eye out for future videos with Alta Labs. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you liked it, and don't forget to hit subscribe on my channel to get notified of other videos which I release all about networking and computers, not just Alta Labs but other videos as well. So thanks for watching this video. Take care. Bye for now.